Hello everyone. So Saturn will be retrograde till November 2024. A lot of changes in law, a lot of changes in contractual relationship can be seen. So let's discuss what Saturn is about and what Saturn retrograde would actually do and how it will impact all the 12 signs. I am covering all the 12 signs in this video. Of course, this is a general reading, so we'll have to uh, take it generally. A personal prediction would be better because you have your planetary positions and how it's aligned in your birth chart, and then you put the transitory planet, and that shows accurate and funnel down predictions, which are of course better and more precise. Looking for Saturn being retrograde. So, whenever any planet is retrograde, it shows that it's going back to its previous house, it's going back to its past to rectify certain things, to rectify certain mistakes, and even redo certain things which it left somewhere in the past. Unfinished things are usually completed when any planet goes retrograde. Retrograde also would reflect certain kinds of disruption. It can be something which is not very smooth. So, any plans that you had priorly made, reshuffling those plans, remaking those plans not being executed is very normal whenever any planet is being retrograde. So, in our case, Saturn is getting retrograde. Any contractual relationship that could not get finished, it will get revived during this time. So Saturn retrograde would definitely show certain changes in contractual relationship, contractual clauses. If you plan to get into any contracts or any agreements right now, be very careful, reread all those agreements, all those clauses that you are entering into. Certain changes in relationships with your colleagues, your people who work under you, can be your house help, can be any juniors, can be your co-workers. It is very much expected. There can be change in certain work environment for you as well. Especially this can be a case if, let's say, you are an Aries ascendant. Change in place of work, change of people, your co-workers, and then also getting to connect with people who you lost touch with. Certain co-workers that you lost touch with, you can reconnect with them. Also transfers can also be a part of something that you can expect during this time because of Saturn being retrograde. And since whenever you have to understand that whenever Saturn gets retrograde, so on a global level, Saturn can also give changes in rules and regulations of the country. Saturn represents laws, so of course there can be certain changes of law, but then this is actually the result of Saturn retrograde. But what is triggering that retrograde, what is triggering that change of laws? That would be protest. So mass protests, there can be certain injustice happening to people, and then that could lead to mass protest, right? So a lot of things like this can happen, and that will eventually lead to changes of laws, changes of rules, changes of regulations in the country, and that is what Saturn retrograde represents. So Saturn is going retrograde in the 11th house for Aries ascendant. It will also show a reflection towards the 10th house. So Saturn being retrograde for Aries ascendant would definitely show that there would be certain changes in your work environment. Your relationship with bosses will also change. You may actually find certain secrets out, or you may find certain information that was hidden from you, or probably this information that could have been useful to you, but then you could not find it priorly. So you can find out certain information like that. There can also be a change in your work responsibility. So if, let's say, you were acting, or you were posted in a certain department, you can now be changed to another department, right? So there is a change of location, there is a change of department, there is also a change of boss, or as I said, reconnecting with certain people that you lost touch with. There can also be certain changes of rules and regulations in the place that you work, right? There can be changes of decorum, or changes of certain rules that you had been following for a long time, but then those rules were not something right. So they can also be like, for example, let's say you are in banking sector. There can be certain rules and regulations that are given by RBI. So certain rules that were being followed since a very long time will now be changed by RBI. So this is a time period till November that you can see a lot of changes happening. However, the reason for this change, this is all of these things that I'm telling, these are the effect, these are all the results. The process that Saturn will go through can be through injustice also. So if, let's say, certain people were getting into this trap of injustice, so now Saturn will bring justice by bringing a change in those laws or rules and regulations, right? So there is a possibility of that as well. Something that you did in the past can also give you rewards right now, right? So that is Saturn retrograde for Aries in a nutshell. For Taurus ascendant, certain decisions that you had taken in the past, Saturn will now tell it to be especially if any student is watching, you may be like working in certain field, but now you take a decision to drop that thing and now go for certain things that you had planned long ago. So if there was a trip that you were planning long ago, you might actually go on this trip during this time of Saturn retrograde, that is till November. You can also change your field of education. You can also want to pursue certain higher education or a hobby that you had since a long time. You might actually now be wanting to continue it. Probably in the past you were not getting time for it, but now Saturn will make you reevaluate your plans and change your priorities. So now there is a time period wherein Saturn can also make you go to pilgrimages or maybe any long term trips that you were wanting to take. Maybe you wanted to change your location, your house, and you could not do that. So Saturn will now create situations wherein you might be compelled to leave certain things behind and go follow certain things which you had planned about in the past. So this is the time for executing a new plan. For Gemini ascendant, Saturn would definitely change certain things of your life. This will be very sudden change, however. So if you were doing something and you were just doing it for the sake of it, but now Saturn would be like, no, there would be certain negativity coming into all these situations, and now you have to drop that plan and completely start again or start this something can also very be new. A long pending decision. So if this is not the scenario for you, then this can also be a long pending decision. So probably there was a decision that you had to take in the past, but you could not take it in the past, and now Saturn would be creating certain situations wherein you will be compelled to take that decision. So if there was a long pending decision that you did not take a call on, Saturn will now make you do that right now till the month of November. But again, these are all general predictions. Accurate predictions and like very precise prediction can only be done once I know your birth chart in detail, right? Also for Gemini, there can also be certain plans that you had made on money or asset investment that can also be reevaluated during this period. So if you were investing into certain things till now, you might now change your plan and stop investing into that thing, but now you'll invest into something else. So change in monetary investment plans can also be seen. Your change in financial income can also be seen. Maybe you open a new stream of financial income, right? Or you close one stream and now switch to another. For Cancerians, the person that you're working with, your relationship with people, your contracts and your contractual relationship, be it on one-on-one basis, be it on long-term basis, would need to be evaluated. There can also be chances that you are finding a suitable partner during this time. So if you had plans to marry maybe back in 2020 or 2021, but then you could not find someone, now can be the time wherein you reconnect with the person or you find some person that you connect with, and chances of getting into a long-term relationship can also be part of this time. For Leos, any pending health issues or any pending court cases would need your attention during this time. You can actually get into a new fitness routine, or you can change your lifestyle. There is a focus on your lifestyle. There needs to be certain change that you are doing on a daily life basis. So you have to observe and then work on your daily life routine. You also need to pay attention to your workers' needs. Any person who's working under you, they might have certain demands, so you might have to listen to that as well. So this is a time for you wherein your focus would completely be on your health and your daily life. For Virgos, you can actually start learning something new. There might be certain difficulties that you can face in your education right now. There can also be certain hobbies that you wanted to start but then you could not do, and now is the time that you can start working on those hobbies or long pending passions of yours. If there are certain difficulties that you are facing, especially in your educational area, there can be certain rectification that are needed. So maybe you'll try a new study routine. You might change your field of education. That is like a big thing. Of course, it's not going to be applicable to each and every person. As I said, this is a general reading, but there can be certain changes in the way that you study, certain changes in your subjects, certain changes in also your education or passion. Your focus will also turn towards your children during this time. So if there is any struggle, you can expect a good outcome till November. Also, these changes that would be there in your life, especially around academics or your passion, will be influenced by your network circle or your friends. A friend or someone from your network circle can help you out with the struggles that you are facing right now. For Libra ascendant, major focus on your house environment, the place that you live. You might actually start living a more disciplined life till the month of November. If you had plans to invest into an asset or invest into any car or house during this time, that plan would get changed. There can also be certain distance from mother that you can see during this time. Can be physical distance, can be emotional distance. You might also want to analyze your relationship with your parents, especially your mother. You can also meet a lady that you had connections with in the past, probably a lady that is elder to you in age, but the relationship was not great, and right now you might have to change that pattern of relationship. But of course, a major focus on your house, your investment plans, and also these change of focus would lead to a change of your career. So if you had certain plans of in your career, you might also have to change that because of your change in location or change of place that you have during this time. You'll also see that things will suddenly work out for you in your career or even in your house. When you feel that things are not working in your favor, but then all of a sudden you'll feel that, oh, things suddenly, everything just fell into place. So that can also be a possibility. Moving on to Scorpios. Scorpios will be changing your direction of your efforts. If you were focusing on one thing, you will now be called to focus on different things. So it can be possible if, let's say, you are a person who goes to office, you work in an office, your responsibility was in ABC sector, but now it will be changed to XYZ sector, right? This can also be a possibility that if you were going to office now, but now you'll have to change your timings because now you have to give time to your home as well. Or if, let's say, you are a student and you are interning, so if you are going to office, now you'll also be focusing on your college and your studies. So there is a diversion in your efforts. So till now, if you were focusing on one thing, you will now be focusing on two things simultaneously. You might also feel that this is a time wherein you'll have to put in increased efforts, increased travel, increased communication that you had to do to make certain things work out. So if, let's say, people had a negative review of your communication style, or you got a setback, like a minor setback from that, then you might have to change your way of talking. You might have to change the way that you're putting efforts. So it's a complete change of process, but then it will eventually pay off and work out for you because this is a long period. So till November, there can be certain frictions, but then you will eventually sort it out and things will start working fine. For Sagittarius, you can switch a job during this time. You can make a revised budget of what to spend, how much to spend, because there can be a change in the bank balance. Because of certain job changes or because of certain events in life, you can have a different way of saving or investing money that you were doing till now. So there is a change that you can expect in that line. You might also find it a little difficult for you to save more. So you can start another source of income, you can start another channel that you get your income from. You can also be focused towards building certain things from scratch. So that is another aspect for Sagittarius. Focus on your family members and your wealth and your sources of income, how to save more, how to invest properly. That will be the center of your attention during this time. For Capricorn, you can actually feel that in this period, you can get back to certain habits that you had lost. So you have to rectify those habits which you certainly wanted to let go of, but now you are back into certain bad habits. So this is a time wherein Saturn will make you work on yourself. You will have to get back to a track wherein you can get out as the best version of yourself. So Saturn will definitely make you work on yourself, make you work on your health. You can actually have to change yourself to fit into a new job. So this is also a transition period for Capricorn ascendants. You can leave something behind and now get into certain new things. But then this is a transitory period. So this is not an end result. So this is the period wherein you will try to accommodate yourself to this new change. So you might have to change yourself. You may also get into a new skill, try to learn a new skill. So, for that, you might have to practice each and every day. So, this is a time where Saturn wants you to practice, Saturn wants you to work on yourself, and then things will eventually be fine for you. This might be a period which might sound a little tough for you, it might feel a little tough for you, but then this is just a preparation period, because Saturn, once it's done with the retrograde effect, it will start to give effects and reap the results of all of these pain or the transition that you had gone through. So this is a preparation period that Saturn is making you go through. For Aquarius rising, this is a time you might go to a place that you lost touch with. This is an energy of starting something new in life. So you are starting afresh. So there is a possibility that you can change your place of residence, you can change your place of working, because there is a long distance travel that is coming for you. Unexpected travel plans, unexpected increase in responsibility can also be a part. A sudden change in lifestyle can also be something that you might have to adapt to during this time. But definitely a change of vision, a change of perspective can be seen during this period, but it will be an unexpected change. It is not a change that you would be expecting or which you could be analyzing or predicting already. You can also have unexpected travel plans, and long due trips can also be executed. For Pisces ascendant, some things that you did in the past but you could not get the results of, you can get it at this period of time. However, you might be called to adjusting with new kinds of people or new kind of network circle. You will reap the results and reap the rewards, however it will take a lot of time. So this can be a phase wherein you did something in the past and now you are waiting for it to pay off. Any previous contracts or agreements that you had made but then they were left incomplete or you could not execute it, this is the time wherein you will get back in touch with those people. If you were facing certain bonds that were left incomplete and you did not try to replenish those bonds, you might also be called to work on certain relationships and bonds. So that was overall about Saturn being retrograde. The Saturn would be there till November 2024. Jupiter would also go retrograde after Saturn. I think it is going retrograde in October, so I'll make a video on that as well. Let me know if there is any other suggestion from your side on what video I should be making next. And just remember that these are general predictions. It can get more precise if personalized birth charts are taken. So that is it from my side, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.